Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Rive to receive the top 10 stocks to buy right now. Artificial intelligence has been the talk of the tech world in 2022, and that's only going to improve in 2023. So what should investors be looking at to get some exposure to artificial intelligence? I have 4 stocks for you that I think have some tailwinds behind them, but this will be a fast changing market. So you'll really want to keep on top of it over the next 5 to 10 years. Before we get to those stocks, I do want to ask you to subscribe to Rive Investing and really appreciate the support. Give this video a like and leave any comments that you have about this industry in the comments section below. So let's talk about a couple of big names that do have a lot of exposure to artificial intelligence. The first would be Nvidia. And this is the company that makes some of the most well-known GPUs or graphic processing units in the world. Really, the way that a GPU works lends itself very well to artificial intelligence and building the models behind AI. So there's really 2 pieces here to what these GPUs are being used for. One is building the model itself. So that's something that can take months or in some cases years to build, whether you're OpenAI building something like the backend for ChatGPT or Midjourney building their image generation system. This is a company that I don't know that it will dominate the GPU space as much as it has over the last 5 years or so. As AI moves forward, I think we may be moving to more custom chips over time. But for right now, there is a huge tailwind, and that will eat up some of the demand that has been left from the decline in the gaming business and in crypto mining, especially with Ethereum moving to proof of stake. That's something that was a big hindrance for the company over the last year. So that is the first stock that I think has some major tailwinds behind them. On a related note, the company that actually makes Nvidia's chips is Taiwan Semiconductor. This is a company that is a fabricator of computer chips, and specifically they're the leader in some of the advanced chips today. And since they are a third-party manufacturer, they can work with dozens or even hundreds of chip designers to design custom chips for AI, and then they will just simply be the manufacturer of those products. That's the way that I think this industry is probably going to head in the future. We've already seen things like smartphones. You know, Apple is designing their own chips for their smartphones, for their computers, for all of their devices. TSMC is the manufacturer of that product. So we're no longer relying on a company like Intel for a lot of that back-end services in a vertically integrated model. It's really a modular model where TSMC is the powerful fabricator, and then there are a lot of designers designing chips for them. I think that's where we're going to be going in the future as some of these startup AI companies that are not yet public start to design custom chips, build out their own cloud solutions. TSMC is going to play a very key role in that. The next one is Apple. And this is really may not be an obvious pick for artificial intelligence, but they do make their own custom chips, and they're already working with a company called Stable Diffusion to integrate some of the models and some of the capabilities that they need into their chips for next generation devices. I think that could potentially be a really interesting use case. When the model is actually developed, the space that it takes to put that model on a device isn't as big as you might think. It may be a few hundred, or it may be a few hundred megabytes or a couple of gigabytes. But if you're a company like Apple and you can include that in the hardware and the software itself, that is a really powerful solution. So this is a company to watch in the AI space. They may be leveraging some of the open source code and some of the APIs that other companies have developed, along with developing some of these things in-house, including chips. So I think this is going to be a tailwind and just make Apple's devices more and more powerful. The other company that's very established and we know has been working on AI for a very long time, but doesn't necessarily have something out in the public, is Alphabet. Alphabet is the one that a lot of people think is going to be disrupted by something like ChatGPT from OpenAI, where you can just go into ChatGPT and ask it a question and it will write down a specific answer for you. That's something that could replace something like Google, but what I think that misunderstands is Google's network effects. So Google has a ton of data on all of its users, on everything across the internet. They're going to be able to leverage that as they increase their artificial intelligence solutions that they're offering, and potentially offer something similar or even more powerful than ChatGPT in the browser and with the search engine that everybody already knows and uses every day. So I think this is going to be something that just entrenches them even more in that search space. And they're going to be able to find interesting use cases and sort of bolt on products the way that they've done with mail and cloud services. So I think this is a company that is not going to be necessarily disrupted by AI. There's going to be new companies that are built, but this is going to be still a very powerful business in advertising and in search. So Alphabet is another company that probably has a lot more going on in AI than is known by the public right now, and I think that's going to be a tailwind for them. Now, a lot of the companies that are doing really interesting things, OpenAI, Midjourney, there are a number of interesting apps that are still startups. They're just simply not public. So I would love to say that there was ways to invest in some of these companies, but there's not today. And I think that will continue to be the case. The models are going to be really powerful, and there's going to be a lot of companies built on top of those models. They may not ever reach public markets, and they may just be products or features in some of the products that we know and love today. So keep an eye on AI, follow Rive Investing, because this is a topic I'm going to be covering a lot in the future. So I would love to hear your comments and see you here for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you here next time.